I have today invited three individuals. Here in a little bit, I'll let them introduce themselves, but Mr. Terry Martinez and Ron Eagle Chasing, and then Bryan Swift Cloud. What we can do is what this recording is intended to provide for the listeners some context to hearing fluent speakers speak, and they're going to share some stories, introduce themselves, and then the conversation will just go wherever they want it to go. My job is to just have a good quality recording for educational purposes, and hopefully we can have some good visits just about language, culture, food, what it is to be a tribal person, a Dakota, Naish, Lakota, Wichasha. What does that mean? Hedakuka. So maybe with that, yeah, I'll pass it over to Terry Martinez. If you could maybe introduce yourself, that would be good. Uh-huh.
Mi tako bi ta wopile cheche ntana peste chuda pro. Mat khogle he khaka sa pa me bero blackout. On an washituki Terry Martinez e macha. Ala na koskala kaki wajia kichita na wajikcha. Makai chasha etra. Ke na la khola ki le etra un kicha gapi. Le ahani khanka ke na chakhuya pina on China la hena hetertjes spunkjapin ha waksabon kuapin ha ja tuk togna leche we choyeki was den shitting na hetertje spunkjapin ha oila gonkichapin ha joine we chon kwabna kiza heter wachwal kuapin ke na hetertje na leche la Standing Rock na oglala matam ke atena hunkumit Shine River. Chakena hetachti en opta washkan het chachma pita. Ja teke tita kota chabla. Twa na letter. Ahani kan gena kiglapina magena o tel tonala wana ni pichake. Ja hetel. Chachon kiam ha monspuk chapna o relena kichito kapina. Gleb ha kelechela. Kole we chocha lechachti sponki cham no kijale le wakhawi chasha ki ungyapina sponki apina ta unkuapi ona ta echa chana pa un waglon kupina ala lechachti erogna uni wachipi asli la we choye ki ashaka chukela na lechachti bet yojulashna Echon kuma te watchik gunung kumna ahetachtisna hilon kichabnashna ala na un kampi ash la want khakoja ki chakwi choya picha iwa le wajijila na tita kumit khagla na iyo ni ija wa khaja u chakwi na mijaji wa blene chache chakwa chake ala atel kantran ka wopile akela petu kina nion kyam na Pia chanteo still mogla cocktail chankela na we owe na ongna lecho ichichona. Mr. Hopkins na lecho stile no tipi wa un spehele na roya na un speech icha chakela na iso ki chanteo still himna na on kyakte na lecho stile chonk un chimcha na chano pa khoya sta glohi pena shele wi ma Ape un chiusa pina volta pina qualcosa la come na tiuma tan capture che na iso na io in andana la ci uspect che quella na le lo hipita le heterti la petto che le miglotre che heterti la na o chichaka aho
Oh, that round eagle chasing me and a coil chajiki talk wambly chika toko wichakte much up. Itakwena mak uja ulako tapi. Had takushi ceremonies chunko piki. La co charge unkopi had spirits. It's a kind of 24-hour, 7 days a week commitment that we made to the Creator. sometimes as a human being, we uglushna, we kind of forget about it sometimes and get caught up in this materialistic world. And what I wanted to say was I'm a descendant of Crazy Horse and Hump, Minikoju. And I just say, Mochina Lola, Ichachmamcha, it's La Colia, Opimich, until I went to the boarding school and they tried to make us into who we really aren't as a white person, and English, and that's the language that they taught us. So I use that. And I know both languages. I have two languages that when I speak Lakota, I try to make it a point to interpret. So they have the non-Indian has a better interpretation of what we're talking about. And it's always just the subject or whatever is, we're talking about. Like today's a meeting, and we share as much as we can of who we are and where we're at, what we came to become as a human being. And I'm blessed with that, with a creator, giving him all the credit. And he's helped me out a lot as I wouldn't say I'm a doctor or medicine man or anything, but I have a little knowledge of what the spirits, you pray about things like that, and they help you out through a lot of people kind of look around, but the spirit's always there, just like the ghost. They have no place to go except to wander until Judgment Day. I found that out through mental telepathy in one of my vision quests, how to communicate with the sound, the movement, and they never they move around like shadow figures. And if you see one, you confront it and speak with it, mental telepathy. I got to do that with my deceased wife, who died in 1980. We got in a hell of a car wreck, and she passed on, and I had PTSD from the Vietnam War. It's hard to explain PTSD until like what I do, and you can't put it. You have to explain yourself to where actually you see action during the war. War is not. It's just all it is two disagreements that they have their own opinion. And I always tell them the regular people I talk to, I say, we're all opinionated. We're like assholes, I tell them, and we have our own opinions, and they kind of laugh about it, but it's the truth. Everybody's got opinion where they could share as much as they can of themselves, give of themselves, like us guys do at the Sundance. Sundance is one of the most powerful ceremonies that we have, and we still have it. And then the pipe, Chernobog, yeah. So when we do them ceremonies, we speak the truth and really mean what we're doing or what we're going to do, or because the future is not. We don't know what the future holds for us. But with that, getting back to my who I am as a Minikoja Lakota, I sometimes think of a reincarnation of Crazy Horse, Shunka Witko. And just my name says it all too, Toka Wichakte. He's the enemy, and I was honored to have that and I use it in these ceremonies. And I haven't had any prayers that weren't answered. And when I do the ceremony, it's got to be truthful because we're dealing with cancer and different types of people that are stressed out, or we try to help out and pass it on to the kids. And what really comes to my mind and my heart is the Sundance ceremony when it's all done with prayer. And as I And what really made me feel good about it was to share as much as I can, whether it's at a funeral or a ceremony, and the kids. It's up to the kids that they can't hold back. They can't be bashful. They can't have their head down or anything. They got to be proud of who they are. And I learned that by this song. This song was made by Jerome LeBeau and passed it on to each song that they make. Anthony's that way. He'll make a song for you if you just tell him who you are and your what you've been through and hardships. And so I wanted to sing that song for these young guys that I really think a lot of that don't know what to decide with. But I always tell them that if that drug was real good for all of us, we'd be all on it, you know. And I tell them that it's a one-way street on that drug deal. You're going to die sooner than you think because of the overdose and stuff. And I tell young guys that, especially in alcoholic meetings or with juveniles, and I share that as much as I can. And I want to sing that song for these young people that I want to pass this stuff on. That it's a good life to make a commitment to the Creator. They always pray 24/7. So. Wachekiayo, wachekiayo, hoyo, hoyo, wachekiayo, wachekiayo, hoyo, hoyo, wachekiayo. Wachekiayo, 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 Machbia tiopa, which Hemielo, Wakatranka Hechatawa, Wopilaelo, Chanwakani Trawa, Wachekiayo, I want to dedicate it to all these juveniles, the young guys that are dealing with what experimental stage that they go through as teenagers. I want to dedicate that song to them. To always pray. Prayer is one of the strongest words that you should know in your heart and who you are. You'll find out who you are when you do, like myself. I could share this because this is what I did. Is I went to all the churches and listened to the preachers, and they read out of a book and they pray. But they pray for whatever situation we're in, like Christmas or New Year's or funerals and stuff. So I dedicate wholly to the young people and hope to make use of it. It's going to save you. It's going to take you to heaven. And there's a place called heaven once we go. And Gosh, Lawakantaka guarantees that. So I really believe in him strongly. I pray to him every day. Aho, metakuya seo. Le woga ke biglusa na ake woga kakanata talk about different subject or food or whatever our daily lives take us to different people that they want to hear us to share as much as they can and pick up on some of that. And you get that in an AA meeting or even in a sweat lodge where what they'll tell you to pray or say a few words and stuff. And myself, I experienced that they actually they talked about me, what I went through, and then they're going through the same thing. So we're all human and we're all equal. Nobody's above everybody, and we walk the red road proudly. Aho.
Amiga, trocar raios ya ohip. やつかや、ohip. や、ohip. 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 や Washington ogana Bryan Swift Cloud much up. Mabili chik ala oyaka he imataha. Nachti manita. Niagala el watinaha. Lila wati el oachwala el mouna. Okabala la kawa. Lakota jata bit shum skayuha. Le kaizek ohibla. Lila yomokpi. Oyati lila lel lila chalwashtab naha taku otiba. Taku onitab hata. Elila kaha ana okikiti. Yota chalina masut. Tahi maki. Naha oite chata. Oh heni opach upslet. Kom je kashla wakhatha kaet. Tante eet chapat. Khana khwachi washte chak. Yotas taku. Waus ba es. Letterti nago oyok te het. Ja, ik pas op een ocean. Ocean chawo. Dag ocean ni wa khatha kaet chahe. Ham dana. Ja waniki hele mak. Ni wa ki hakho. Yatha to hanchi hata. Hekte kikti. Ja ocean chawo. Letterti. Khakoja. Yamri chachwa. Khakoja gana lila otekhi. Tmei nana 20 knowledge. أنا متخاف. إذا يسمى كهانا وقت يتخاف. تو كل وقت هاي تاك تماونها واتيك تا تخوي تا. واتي وقوم بنيبنها تكتل وشكت يواميش تكتل واتي. يوشكي ويومنا. بيتوها أويكي بيا يوشكي وأونتي نقول وقناهاشنا بوتشك أواتشيما دوك الواقع وقت هو كي تاكو تاكو لابيك وإنا وكيلا هتشختي يتولى ليلا كايزك وهيب أش وقناش واتون وبتلا خاب وونها لاتش وياتي فوقتا أو أتايت هوانا أو بيوشكا تاكو ناخويا أوكتا هات تيب تيت خاكاتك هاتشي واوسبك هنا وغناش بيتوي أوكيت خاكيها ناخ أمنها وكاختنا وغناش يتهختي لخوليا أش وتياتا تاكو ناخ وغنا إتلا ناياخو تاكو ناخ وغنا مية أوبتا هيونها نيدا ناياخو لا تختي لا واوسبك يا يوشكا ليلا يومك لا تختي يوم نغوي يوكتا تاتك هات خاكوجا غنا تختي كتاكو يوكتا نها ميتو يوكي تخاكي ليلا وانغو ليلا اويكي أنا أوزاني نها أوش أغوي نها يوتخ وقت خاكا هو كيابي تنس أخذ يغنا وكيابي تنس تقومني هاو كتاونا أو نخ وقت خاكا الأواتي هاو تاكوني تاكو ما تاكو وق سبيتشات واخي نكو باوس بنا تاكوش أميتي بلا كنا خوما إلى وقت خاكا إلى ياك هكذا وقات اختي كأنها تاكو كا Maka kaniu. Aku maka kaya kena. Ya, na kaka. Aku ka. Gula wash na gula walk. Bete yung hello. Na uene pilawak. Aku chip ya. Na opa ki chana. Ishito lakaha. Hello. That's a head aku kaji chat. Oops. Ash. Hetchtihan oakachni. Alila Khabi blabla na lechiwa. Wahiha. Ithash yata tiopa elata. Tia gluganaha. Elata wa ukabla lata. Long chip. O chui taps. Lila tang kaku. Lila honk taun. Lila pilawak. Naha koskala kala. Waos bichat. Lila pilawak ya lata. Na hoi oyok te kehet. Nach Uchi, nach Tukataka, Wow speech chat, national speech, Obnaha, Down Unkt, Taku, or speech Chabna, Samyaka, Wok, Wow speech chat, Hetch, Eagle Hawk, the head, Hetch, Anna, Passi, Hetch, a power chief. My name is Bryan Swift, Lily go South Dakota. I still live out in the country along the river, raising 3 of my grandchildren. We treasure our grandchildren, all of us. And on my side of the family, I'm the only one that's a sole grandfather. They're the closest one to being taking care of them and looking after them. So I'm doing my best. We go around to powwows and we sing and dance. And life is really good. We come a long ways to do this. Humbled and honored to be here amongst the people here in Fort Peck, and really thankful for my cousin Terry. He opened doors for us, and we ate. We're always fed wherever we go. Where we slept comfortably, at peace, and the house is warm. Got a little too warm because I must be an old man living here. But that's what the Lakotas always want is Tokatela Hokumata, many Uhamna, Okalo Yankamata, or Neo Kuktan, Ozani Piktan. That's what we always want. Yota Shata, Tokatelo Hia Bash, Onya, wait till Washington. So, no matter where we go, food is always offered. We have to reach in a pocket. Ron, he fed us on the way, coming this way. I started getting up long hills and down, going up and down like that. We noticed there was no guardrails. He said, no guardrails. I told him in Indian. I said, Mali Lala Kat, you go down into that, way down into that, down into that ravine, way down below. You wouldn't know it, but you probably poop your pants. But we joke like that. We kind of throw each other humor, we laugh, That's one thing we always look for is Lakota humor. Ukichat abna yushki oikipi ukukta. Ni ukola. Don't have the mic up. Brian, what does Lakota mean to you? I said, Matawakila, Amia, Lakolwanaha, Oikipi, to work out our obo, to work out Kolawam. Olakota, Albert. Peace, harmony. That's us. And we try to, no matter what situation, we're always looking for good relationship with everyone. That's what makes us Lakota. What makes us Lakota too is the language. I was telling Ron, I bet the words you had. When you have Lakota when you talk. That's true. Because one of these days, this language is not talked anymore. There'll be no more any of us. Tuhan, what Yotus Lila, Tuala, Lakolia, White Peak and Lila, Dan, Wogalaka, Ohe, El Unctus. Sami Yakaha, Oiksit, Eloyom. Kita Nakaha, Fo Okit Haka, Nahubichata, yo, Tikala. So our voice gets less and less being heard because those fluent speakers or those that really talk Lakota, they take what they have with us. So I'm really enlightened. I'm very enthusiastic. I'm very feel the energy. I feel the love and desire for my language so much that I will share all I can until my time. But I want them children, my grandchildren, everybody, anybody that's touched by our language and thinks it's a beautiful thing, I want them to pick it up, carry it. May not talk exactly like us, but even though they come just a little bit close, that was good. This language go on a little further. And always be our language. Our language will be the first thing. Fortunately, we have to speak English because everybody speaks English, But I wanted to say that I teach my grandchildren. That what really kept me from learning, helped me from learning about growing up younger. Some of us had a head start before a head start. The reason I'm saying that is that Hamani Mahal had our mother's womb. Now you heard it. Everybody spoke. So that was our first language for some. Now when they need to Zapta, they sent us off to school at 5 years old. So we're exposed to English. We're very new. And so we have to start learning that, and then never really thought about it. Hey, I'm kind of slipping away from the language that I love. But then everybody had to learn English language. But I just wanted to make sure that I said that about a lot of them had that head start here through that quarter. And so Head Start before Head Start school, that was our first language. Mama, ina, wa, iganako, kiwo, lakho, wogalak. Atiana huku, ho, ena, o wogalak. Anazokta, itachoyo, utkuma, hatatua, galakho. Ehata, hata, lahukut. Really. Not probably. I'm not full blood, but no. I think that I did a malako. For a misheart. I work on high power kid. I little young. I can match up now. I took walk. You know, misheart letter. The yank. When I was at my country, was the kicking. La Itani. Elmo. He said, before she passed on, he said, I'm not going to be here pretty soon anymore. We love each other and help each other. That covers those 7 virtues they talk about. Itika, generosity, all those Washitu terms of being a Lakota. 2 words cover that. And then there's what's above, one that's above that is the whole Lakota. That covers all of that. What is the whole Lakota? That's peace. That's in Lakota.
Pirama. Mitakepi. Dakota we choka ki daku ota I koyake. Wob dezana wogachnika ota I koyake. Ehan woyute I koyake. Woyute ki he I woya hadakikta hewashtekte. Oyaki hewashtekte. If you could talk a little bit about in our Lakota way, our food is a sacred thing. So some of what we're trying to share with our young people is to not take it lightly because it's how we gather. And you guys have already talked about these gentlemen, what it means, hedako kahe. And so with the food, if y'all want to maybe share a little bit about why it's important. There's our ceremonial food, but even it would be good to educate our young people, young men, women, even older people, because all of us were still learning, even older people. Why that food's important, why we take the time to maybe put a little bit of food out. Wochekia, woyite odoa. And I remember you talking about that a little bit yesterday. Maybe if that's something that you could share with us today, hewashtekte.
Ron. He's the older. Older ones to speak before me.
Now, when I grew up with my grandma, she would put out a spirit dish. She'd say that whatever we ate, traditional meal or something, she would set that out for the spirit of those that passed on that liked that kind of food, because it helped us with our, like I said earlier, when we eat the tzaniga, that's the nutrients in there in the stomach of a buffalo. The tzaniga, they call it, the guts. And then they'd gobble that papa, and then they'd save that for winter. For winter time, or they made soups and stuff, and then they share as much as they can, and whoever comes to the house, they make enough for people that stop by, and I always asked them why they made that spirit dish. And she said, "Onachinan lochim." Maybe they're hungry out there, the ghost, and then they'll go feed them. So we always set it out or put it on the window and put a little tobacco on her. That's another thing that we always use is tobacco. Use it for everything, prayer. I always tell them, I said, that tobacco, when you use it in your hand, and said you're asking the Creator a favor. Because my grandma used to say, don't, walabshnia, it means don't be asking for things. And earn it, whatever. And then when it's supper time, they'd feed, But as far as the food and stuff, where I am, I always try to keep that alive as a papa and the traditional foods, wasna and choke cherries, and we pass it on to different people that ask. They'll ask you if you have any cherries, if you picked any cherries, and if you tell them you didn't get around to it, they'll send you some, enough for wojapi and stuff. But wherever you go, as far as food and stuff, you never refuse a meal. Some have a belief that if you refuse a meal, you can't come there anymore. Or even a gift, that they try to give you. whatever they give you, you accept it in Lakota way. Never say no. That's one of the things that I found. But as far as food, to where I'm at, it's good, and there's times that you have to prepare it, get it ready for winter and stuff. Some people don't do that; they don't prepare for it. But seasons are coming and stuff, and then, but I noticed Lakota way they always share all their food and much of the. In fact, I went to a grocery store and I bought about $170 worth of food, and when I got up to the tiller, the guy in front of me, he said, "I want to pay for that guy's groceries." And geez, my wife couldn't believe that. She still talks about it that day, and that he was a sun dancer and things like that. Is shocking, and to us that know the way of giving and have giveaways, not so much as voila, ask for things. So that's what I've been taught as far as that goes. And you can talk about food all day, I guess, but what gives us from the buffalo to the deer make papa and stuff like that. Nowadays, it's just washing the guts, and my daughters are pretty good at that, cleaning the guts out and cooking it right away and stuff, and then the rest they will freeze and stuff for another day. So that's about all I know. I think about food. We all have to eat to survive. So, and I check that one.
Hani kicho it's a garden kagabdashna. Atashna community ga ink paton teacher community ga auction TV na hipinashna oki chapi. Makaki blubnashna. There's seeds lana. Glo hipinashna. These are hecha. Wajishna trankanashna check-ins no han. Charlie tell egina can omagalana warjupi. It's a yushka hetchup. Warjup. Well, barrel trankancha. Team wagon oila. Hesna mini ugana kapna. Beaver dam oila. Kana hancha. And that's no juyapit. I bet the ojila shetches mini coupe. And they chaga church. All summer, any chaki up in when I block at the church, no, no. You kick chupi. Why not? I just know. Patampina. Why I take a glow heap, Oksha heapiness. Mila prepregani kick chupi. Ah, atashna. Ik check up it. What gap it, chanka. Ah, na good hedges, na good canned goods hedges and chupi. And that's a pichiapina. Juice national savior pinchna, magana, usiapina. Cherry patties, kokagapina, teams like a nako, a check the sumpina, utkeapina. I had to taku or chargia, and I had to patampi, usiapi. On a hand there. Na you check tagap national. I watch a kagam national water pin national. What akun waki pranish ta takun wachune ceremony chumpin ish to tell church gathering ish. I had to charge a year na his got na waiting na patamne check na glohipin national war pin national. Is an prejuta. Actually, watch a kagam national. Oyatiki prejuta wait a copy. Actually, no, ja, change Mnicheki grustom change no national gunato klel awake no gunato makashi na taganikta to anija echekta na was queer kagapin na hechek na wa charge ri kipi change na national kupi national ho cheki kagen national no chima kaku nish ogda oicha hektas na mal oglaka wachpena wasnana wojap in agwabik jakana aheche uchaji taku chashagena and we are still like national chakopinashna ana had pilaja ba kantchen kaitgesna wochike karab ana hatachne yasta getchna na uspema kapi na sitting boy at the tawa uchake na hatachti uspoke up in honey trick fetchaki na kankanki na new bina netachna. There was never a dull moment. Everybody was helping each other now, respecting each other now. You are within half a mile, ink paton tip chacha, solunki chabna, unki chabna, champagmi hap chacha. Etchna, unki chabna, waiter carnish, a guap carmchusna, shumaka custom, twana, ich benish, I etchel. Met wat chan nita, chansna, chankaksak, samna, chantrok shubna. I etchel okicha, uni. أنا هاتشل واشتت خلا هم ونا ويتوتشا تويني هاتشل نيوشي تويني وكيشي you have washitya ni upina you have honey tipi kiktak you have the lights now you just flip a switch and it's on honey na lamp kerosene now hachel chum kumpi wigini ushkampi hachel han wana running water ko honey chankak sak samlash na oven stove wa apita cook stove and a reserve quick like a hatchet just a honey mini haton chimno a hatchet just we're gonna walk better yet come tanta heda hatchet na ko ikwake yastak chake hatchet me matagena ha we chasha ichach mapina church people hatchet pinata wakhoit utke umpi wakhoit choya tegete umpi chake hatchet ichach map okay na ash aket kha hatchet ichach map na وانا لا انا ونيت لا اوتا اكتواي وخلنا لتر ما وانا ويلاق ميتشه نا تشارش لنوب لنو ويبي لنا ووجي او مبليتيك على تشات ما شان ريفر تشات انا لتر تشم كيجا وشم كيتشا غبي ميتا dirt log house for ما تشغنا ها ده انا انا insulation تيبي كي تخوچو كيا هاني لساد كيتشبنا Sako houses na or log houses national un paska national I check champion kepe na apeto khata chan ne chunkope osnishni hishin chashna ne chashnon kope hechel na it's soan imatra gena o ge is on kitcha hechel ni on bashna is unale washituk ala ona chocha gele chache oishtete get chimpy na glad tramsin chunke ale mehna me michicho na so chicha kapichencho imata na ha okay hani he hana ku wala khole wala kapchashna oneshna correct national recess 20 ushkatavs no kicha na school ya maonesh na corner and no gym na is la khole wala kabata taku gym floor thanka hech na sweep yam na map yam na ha wa khajra magana nuna water mato na table and chair na hatash na pakino kyapinus na hechikche na hechel wexi mata la khole wala kabchashna hechesh no kuapi okay chi tokhil ab chacha na kanganashna chapi bloketu chambaski hinashna boris kutiki ya chamchashna yatiki mi chache na wexi na ku echa ukita keep chashna na ku na le tiata le woila gukabna oicho kabna le wojug na na waniche na borik su talata you ataka washichu speni chaktichnish na nit khokcha yagliata ate etke wostel nichichus letra ashla na ni washicha che enigilokte vichoya chake na echa wexuya eta amejashna donatan miza punishment na ahechik na ani le lilashna la kholwa la kinashna هاتل خوجا يتاخ مامنا Taku walks up in a woman and a wash stick and I had to like a crab elk na kapsalet in isi chuk na crab elk na kup heon kichuk sapsas. When I had na warp na Lila taku laws ota grushich in ash chi kija nacho kanj hon chop chatchen when helon tom no is 20 electoem na ucho ko kipsin acho ostestis no ko apin na major wexi ash etchness na government ki ya but oh your parents are nothing but drunks, your parents can't keep you clothes, your parents can't put food on the table. And I had Shawogalaka. Yet we already knew it was installed in us from the very beginning, and it was taught. We were taught that. We were brought up in those ways: how to haul water, chop wood, provide things, help dig turnips, and help do other things, and help them and watch them and do things like that. Nowadays, in this generation, the non-Indian where we live, those things, if they were brought and made, they will take them and sell them for their negative needs. This is the world we live in today. These things are not good, but it's okay for the non-Indians, but it's not okay for the Indians. And a lot of Indians had adopted that, and some of them can't apprehend in a positive way where even if you tell them, they're not going to uphold it. They'll still, as soon as you turn your back, they're already doing something bad, different, not living that way. So we're losing our Indian ways, our cultural ways. And when you try to correct them and tell them right from wrong, oh, you guys, those days are over with. You guys are living in a dinosaur days. They say things like that in a negative manner. But it's hard to be humble and it's hard to swallow your tongue because it's things that they don't realize. And I always think, what kind of parents do they have? Why do they say such things like that? Yet we come from an honorable chief sitting bull, and they make compliments like that. So it's hard in this generation now. Most of us don't have parents. We don't have grandparents. Some of us don't even have brothers and sisters. Like Anthony said, he's a Blenicha. So am I. So is Ron. Well, we do our best to provide the needs on this video here for what we know and how we were raised and stuff. And if you didn't, a long time ago, Ron didn't mention it, but when you were still in school, when they drafted you, when that war was going on, right then and there, you didn't understand. We were still raising in Ushika way. Some of us live in shacks, stock houses, log houses, but yet we try to be good in those ways because some of us had good upbringing with grandparents, and we were taught well. For I thought so. Well, when we went to school, even then, they threatened us then, the U.S. government. You don't join now. There's a war going on. You deframe the military. You will sit 1 year and a day in a Leavenworth State Penitentiary if you don't sign here and serve your country. So people obviously will sign because they were scared to sit in prison. And nobody, as far as we knew when we was growing up, we know what they never had these detention centers or correctional places or anything. None of this was ever heard of. Straight jail. They lock up your parents, and they would put you away for no apparent reason. As soon as you're about 17 years old, so we got threatened like that. So you have to sign to go to military. We got those things done, but when you come back, a lot of us never got a welcome home. We never had a dinner. We never did any honoring. Nobody even had an honorable Indian name. Nobody, no other veterans never shook your hand. I seen these things growing up. Everybody was drunk. When I think about that as an elder now, I was kind of devastating, but I'm thankful for my life that there's forgiveness. And like they said, Ron and Anthony, there's always prayer. There's always asking God to be on your side, to guide you, to help you, and to protect you. Like I said, we don't have no grandparents, we don't have no parents, and our other siblings. It's hard. But we have to step up and raise our children and teach them these things, what we're talking about, food-wise, holidays. That today, there's nobody gardening. Today, there's a lot of things that are gone that's taken away from our Indian ways, but we know these ways. We were in it. We lived it. I'm a boarding school survivor. It was horrible. But today, all those who, if we mention they're not alive, they are also gone. So what hurt my feelings and scarred me was your parents are drunkards. Your parents, that's all they do. They can't provide nothing. Yet we were already raised in those ways. We were already raised in how to teach and grow and provide and dry our goods and things and all things like that. And we hunt wild game, eat and live like that. Today, we have to live and provide white man food. All of our Native Americans throughout the Indian country all live this white man way. There's not one that I can see that lives all way. Just a handful. So that's where we're at today. And it's always good to mention these things because that is the truth. And sometimes that's where the diabetes and cancer and kidney failures and brain tumors and all these things, bone disease, all these things come about. And they give you a little substantial money for monthly, especially if you're a veteran or an elder, and they tried their best, but they already done destroyed our spirit. They already done destroyed our ways. They destroyed our love and fellowshipping with others. All those are gone. Our culture is diminishing. So I'm glad to speak and tell it so that we might not be here in the next 10 years, but all those who hear this, they know, but they don't speak it. They don't tell it. I'm thankful. I haven't lived in my reservation, Standing Rock, for 40 some years. I lived on a Fort Peck, Sioux, Assiniboine, Dakota tribe. And everywhere I went, I'm also a traditional dancer. I've been everywhere, a ceremonial person, and we go all over. We do things in the summer. Ron does the buffalo sundance. I do the kettle. Anthony does the singing. We all take part in things. And I'm thankful the Creator gave us life to sit here and tell it, the truth to the Fort Peck Community College, to Mr. Elijah Hopkins, to record these. I want him to benefit and grow in these ways, and I'm thankful to sit here and speak Lakota and tell it in English, because sometimes it's sad to tell it in Indian because it's just nobody will come and help you. Well, I was thankful I have company. I'm thankful they're at my house. I'm thankful for everything. And Christmas is going to be here. Even that, the day of Jesus' birth, we should be having good meals and family get together. But we also have loved ones who are passed away on that day. I do. I have a sister that's dead that day of Christmas. But I have to stay strong to be with family and have a happy time, and because I'm raising a boy who I claimed as a son. He's Wablenich also, just like me. But I'm proud that he knows my language. And I'm thankful Anthony and Ron are here too. When they talk Indian, he knows, he understands. But he's quiet. He's a humble boy. So I wanted to share that much. And kind of sad oikshita talking about stuff like this because it is the truth. And I'm proud to explain myself and let the college be aware and hope Elijah will hear these and understanding these ways and get better ideas and stuff. But that's the way we were raised. I lived in a little old creek out in the country of Good Shepherd Church. It's called in 10 miles west of the community of Little Eagle, Wamblichikala. And it's the back ways of where Sitting Bull used to live. But that's where I was raised. I do not have a birth certificate. I was born on home. I'm not registered in things. I have a hard time in my life growing up, but I'm thankful God helped me and keep me alive this long to share these things with you guys, along with Ron and Anthony. So no matter what tribe we're from, we're all related from distant relatives. Na hechakje miglad khanchake. Pilacha pinata hona na khona na goya pinata. Oksape ogana na patam pinata. We chocha na we chapti bazo techa. Ila pilacha chale le matkhol le khaka sapamela. Oh, wa think techa pilacha palo.
Wambali anak nukhasamalila wango kako da di lakta ite wapi wala and poikta ya la tukaha washitu Lakota ke ka each other na kap ale loik piumka khatho goyat ko khaska aku yupita na yuta khatkhaki wash alia ni kha lakhote wana doktani nagata ashkai chada eta le la yo tie ke lakhota ke machaka matikala daku exigena wala ke o inamis khaki daku na pa ukalhuke la winta na kakh was na wakap papa tata ko wintina khalo tkena pusia na chapkha na pa uka lo wani we ake hatchli oita yuabna usiabna ona la aiglo wa oita hatchli wanita mama lela we akikala ta ko kakhpit na yak khalaitu sa o ni yo kiurok te ini la keitu halo o ni kabala o ni halo sataka siagnak khanta o na ya aku focus to what she gonna help little canning and jar damp yellow and wait go and I could look up that actually and I had to get that or speak check out as what she took it aku wait and I tell her unta تخغنا ذاك وما خشكة ذاك أوتابس خالا ونيتا أنا خام وبلادة قال خابي بلاتك نقب في سميك هويت تشودا وياك لخوتك ليلة أوتا حقيقة هو عازك وقتا ساكو ولهان توكس يوكم ذا لخوتك أتا لتخ يخال يقب لكو يشيتو لك ويتاكوك تكهات يتوب تنسو وعزك Taco. Many waka, many pigai, taco. Gejuta jajita misla, taiki. Had to was a kamata, taco was there. You pizza, we talk kamata. Op the ata, which. Kapoja na yo kekia. Organized na ha. Hotel. Istima yuka. Pilota, extra as hoog ook te lakken. Les ook kubina. Taku was daar apetio chukum. Toki wa oke oki hena chokoni ukola. Woi te chat ni wa na khoya. O hetekti inamit. Mama hetekti iglu ha. Taku. Ijabna. Gazebna. Ustiabna. Aoen. Hetekti woit. Aiglu. أنا وانيت تشاتا هتي وياكي تولا كهتا أختي بتشاو أخوتك ها ساميا وتي ني وكابلو ويتشوكي لا تختي وابلك تاكو بتوه ويتشوكي تانيكتي خوش له بلالت قاعد يعني كواونا ويتشما وقت ساميا كتخشامي تخطي هوا أكل وما شاء الله أتخذي ويوم كده خانك لوكش كهاي تخمة تاكو بابا تاكو ماما نبكت وقاغ أنا أمك تمسنا أنا تاهو وما شاء الله أتخذي تخمة لا تلهان أبتك لا خطامي تخاكي ناختي شهان بشي باب وبناس خكاتك ها أمك كده بتدري توكس كي لقختك تا تخاني أمك ها أوني تاكو يوتا بنا هكي هاو يوتا أكتر هتختي لقختك أمك تاكو أوني وسيابنا يخمتنا وهامبك مو أنا يوتا وها تاها ووالدك هل تاغن أبوك وشيتا وويتا أوتا و خطشوكي تخاكيها وكيغلو شيتا أكتا ني أكوكيها ويوم تتلاك هتختي وبلاك لهان وين آخر ويتا هياك اختي وتخت أب هش لقختك وخ توكيش كي ونباك جاءو تاكو وسياوكي نبطان يهابنا أيقلو هاوم أنا هاك اكتهنا ويته توك تاغني تو تخت خا أصلا هان هتختي ناخذ ويتكي هاك اختي وتخت أنا اوكي هاني يا ويته تاغني تخت خا لهان ليلة يسميك وتخت أو food that's really hard to get. Papa, chocolate, tips, la, wamu, wahapi, sahojapi, wiggly, kakapi, the fry bread. They talk about them. Those are the closest we could come to a traditional meal. Growing up, my grandma, Helen Iron, used to have that food on her all the time. She had a traditional meal every time we went there. Talking to You had to have that because he was a woman. My mom liked that too. Always had Papa in the trunk. Always had curry patty that we dried them. Chicken. We helped to make those. Grind them. Kupana. Yeah. They put them on, stepped out, made a screen over them so no flies would sit on them. And then she would always have a sata with Papa. Always, as soon as those Papa meat right, mahike, put it away, make some more, kabbalah some more. For us boys, we have to be hunters. We wouldn't hunt deer. There's no more buffalo like long ago. So what I was saying earlier, before that, was she came and locked up everybody on reservation. We really had a beautiful life. Hunt buffalo and anything edible. Daka wokila, wokila means a lot of things, but wokila means more like looking for food, in search of food. I have stories to tell. I have lots to share with you, but fortunately we have a short time to do it. Malala, in the 70s, I went to church with him in a white team and wagon. He went to my first powwow on team and wagon, 59, huh? That was my first time dancing, my last time too. But he's still singing and dancing, and he said, Lash, lala maka. No, but those things like that they still enough. All that carry, He was a Christian. I mean, since the reservation time, our ceremonies were banned. Secretly, but the majority of us, that's the easiest way. They asked us, one guy, Kanshi, Mike Lilleberg, hey, Mike, we haven't seen you in a sweat lately. Wow, that's cool. They're in church. That's what I said. It really meant it. It's true. So if people take the easy way, whatever is comfortable, you just go with the flow. Lala used to take us to church at Alcorn. Have the team in the wagon along the fence for church. Went to Sunday school, but he always encouraged us to pray. One time we had Christmas dinner out at the place here. I think it was 73, the last time that he had Christmas dinner. And this is the way I look at it. He always asked that for Amo. He must have asked Amo, my brother. Awachek must have said that to me. But he said, you know how he is. He didn't want to do things like that. So next in line was my brother Fred. He don't do those things. So they never asked the girls or ladies to do these things. So who was next in line? Me. I asked for the Pachekia. Pray over his food. But he taught us a prayer. God is good. God is great. And we take him for his food. And one time the prayer had me pray at Christmas dinner. My Lala sitting right there, my little brother Walter, he's really close to my Lala. And had me praying. I start praying for everything. I pray for sport and spit. I've had a dog in sport and spit. Worst thing, bad. I have to pray for the worst thing. Uncle Ernest, married, and Uncle Ata, as I mentioned earlier in my prayer. God can amen. What the toilet? La. He just now got done praying and started fighting at the table, but and it was a big grand thing where he to keep him Achia was on him now wait Yagalawas Chonky had some Otana Katia O'Neill cooked to Kahat, Chawchin, Chahat Low, I had some, we thank God that for this food to give us strength in our bodies and continue to live and try to continue to enrich and enhance and enlighten and enlighten each other's lives so that we're more of a Lakota. And, that's it. It's us, it's not how we feel here. That's the inner Lakota that speaks when you speak. I over the years I've been asked to compose songs. I can do it. People come to me. I made a song for Missing in Action, POW. That was a little bit. It's not black, but it was brought back 2 years ago. But I didn't ask to make the song for myself. For his nephew came. Where's my song? I picked it up. I had a song there. Kind of hard to teach people at home. They're not really, unless it pertains to them and that they'll treat you like this and they learn it and then they'll try to take credit for it. They want to be recognized for it. But that don't bother me. I just want our language and our stories and our songs to keep alive and we gotta keep them alive and have a bad life or bad health. If they come to someone right there, they help with the ceremony. Or the way someone that you have brought back good health to and is still alive. Ron said that open when the sun Thanksgiving dinner. Was texted my mom. My mom used to be TL Waterbeing. She had to live up to that. So, she always had Papa. I helped to make Big Team Sula, I helped to make Stupula, I helped to make Wagamuata, Sanata, Kagada, they dried out, squash, and then it's like a snaky, it's like this, but then after it dries, it gets hard. When as she puts those in the, she will buy this tall, she sew them up like a pillowcase. It has breeze, it has to breathe. So she took this, she would mold up. So, and then she'll move them around out there, so then fresh air. So she was, my mom was probably the last one to do that. Slowly dying out in her family, though. My daughters probably know how to make hamburger helper. Well, one of the oldest ones, she knows how to make other food, but then, so actually we're really, when we feed our children like that, these chakodes, their life is too short. Rather we eat out or not, it is. A lot of guys my age, they're all diabetic. Unfortunately, you know what kept me alive? Really eating with him, horseback riding, and eating wild berries, swimming, horseback riding and swimming, two best exercises anybody can get. And that chata, taco, what hoggle chagana, katkana, situlaka, hena, chachina, utamata, post katsange, okithakia, really strong, those wild berries. No ingredients, no artificial flavors or anything in papa or anything, just natural. Oh, yeah. We were living in a natural world for until started getting into drinking. Well, everybody experimented drinking. تعال يواقع يعني لو لو لا 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 يتخمك هاي تهوي لو لا هي هتخدي I always give credit to my grandfather. I call him Chad, the one Chad. Because of him, I was able to do a lot of things. Sing, dance. يعني مثل أخذ بوبنا كم نقول مش خاص كده هنا ذاتك أكيد حتى يكبر هذا أو إلى دا أو كذا أو بنا بنا بيلاتشا اللي بنا أوت هذا زعلان ده أنا هيرو. But the song is just a simple song and Chuck, when you don't say Khatia Topa Tukashla right away that back home they label you as he's Christian. He didn't say without us. He didn't say or he said amen, so he's not a Lakota. After they really label you all up. And wait, although you watched it, although I had to. Wakat Khaka Woyote Yagla Vashtektaya Wash Aka Etake Tupiktaya Hela Oya Piye Hey ya oh yeah oh ya Piero hey oh Kashela oh you take Yagla was take time oh was Aka hey toke to big toya hey la oh ya hey ya oh yeah ya pero hey هتخ ya met hal wordt je was der machine ja hogna هتخ ya hognash het dus het is hognash Lakota tet هتخ تكها ولو هتنا وخطخ كأت لابك هات أوني أبتي يوم لو كنا تاكوش بكذا وشيتها هو كده هو هو يكتب ولو أميكلي أواجه خطخ كأت كلا تاك قال قل وخنها وقل واشت كيه ماشي ما كتبت شيء ما وقناش وماش أكش لنا وقناش ما قليخ بان ناش لو يتلاقيش تاكوش تا وقلوشنا تتعاش كتبت شيء ما تتعاش تختي وخطخك تاكو قل واشت وكيه مش وكذا تنل ياتي كاغ يا دوكش كي تشونك كها يا خ although يا تشاتا eta awahias o pilama apelo
Huh. Wopida chichapido mdakipi. We'll take a break maybe for a little bit. Stop back here.
That wasn't right because you didn't say amen.
So we can resume. We were talking about Woyute. If you want to continue on that, that sounds good. But it sounded like everyone was able to visit about that. But I kind of defer to each one of you. Anything that you think that's important for us to know is good. I have some ideas, like we talked about hunting. Maybe your experiences with that in the language, etiquette hunting etiquette, because we're trying to develop character in young men. A lot of times if they don't have men in their family, they kind of don't change compi.
Yeah.
So we want to make sure that they're aware that, they're intentional, that we're not just, when we hunt, we're without putting tobacco down or maybe saying a prayer, you're just killing, right? But we want it to be more than that, a relationship that they
That
understand.
part too has stories to where, when, like you just said it, when you hunt all the time and you just, and keep nonstop, things happen, chat. Stories in the house, he knows stories like that.
Yeah.
Guy just kept hunting and all that taksha, that really big head, bunch of horns. He kept at it and he got him so scared that he climbed a tree and he saw that from a distance. He saw it go. He looked back, turned into a man. Well, he was shooting at just kept hitting it. So can you imagine what your life is after that? In fact, it's only that individual. You know a lot of stories like that. But it was told. You want to start with him, you can't, because he's lived on the res longer than I did. I mean, I know where I come from. When I left at an early age. So we never had that experience, but in the town of the community of Liligo, don't know miles away in Churchill, that's all happened. That's below that Elkhorn Butte you're talking about, Chad. Elkhorn Hill, over on
East side?
Southeast side, you mean? Kind of like?
Yeah.
That used to be an old road that goes out with your Mobridge, isn't it?
And then look we all Harley White bridges up there, but that's where that road comes up. You can see the impression of it. There's a story about that too. Richard, I'm working أهالي لخوتك يا خاني أبنا وانا مخاقا نيو كتبت هاتا each year what sing their own song to sing their death song. Go ahead to have la makaqa ahib mana yamata or wanakhata kigen aqta although heads and ahibna donaka hitak hna ahibnaha akegalakta hna lo ha long ha okibna ahibna ha kegalak the old way of how the guys would sing their death song, and then you'll sing it here, and then they'll continue to sing it on the Milky Way Trail. You'll sing with his relatives. The oil keep here, went back to the hunting grounds where Okagi the Chola, how wise up. Oh, and here was a hunt. All the like, I will cut the guy. You can't have a Tashawa Della Takua tract mother Daku Gagum. Chunkia Gap took that Daku tractor Hituta Daku Chunkika hair Ella Upna Wolagia. He used that tractor to help make ease the hauling wood. It was like someone that really helped out everybody. You can't talk up, yana, and the bubbles. That tractor flipped over backwards, and it was laying on it. That guy's name Richard, so that kind of Washita came to his rescue, but it was too far. He couldn't do nothing. He couldn't get that tractor off the guy. You can't. Talaha each kilo. فهنا لقطتك حتى يقولوا each kilo ما بتشنجنا هو توكي ولا قلعك تهات so yep yeah we'll keep Lakota Language. لا كتير ما تغني تخمت هنا وني هنا وقت نقول لا 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 تو وقناشنا هي لا تخفيها يا إلى ميساق لا تشيرا إلى ميساق لا تشيرا ما قاسيتوني أوي يا بي although what mama ahiwa mama tokiski achtaki atanashi ya and front ni mama although I hunk ayahi tego usan doctor although che ya ayahi tila la hai ahi organized na ahi all the time was ghost that song هتختي هالو ليلة اختي اكتا خوبي تخوخنا اكتا إناي عش اتختي باكاها وسبمك هاب فها أنا إتلا قد هما those are the only things I have as far as the ceremony and stuff but لا ليلة أوتا تاكو اكتيا he just shared them never explained them, but I found out what they were. When they teach you something, they never, they never sit you down and say, well, لا توني لا تختيهاش أقول لا يتكا لا خذ يا وسبتي كيكتك أنا خبط إلا واتشيو توكي وقت خاك سوليان كتهاتي Ogana sol itala solyank te hetse hablat yank te we mangwat het sigala itala وقت solyank وين هetse اختوا يا وكيب azubna توكشياتو توكشكيها تخواتي ما نسولنا شتيتا وكوك أخيرا توكشاهنا وتشيمنا وباسي مهتا أنا وكوكا خذونا أنا قلها down cook to head so only keep they always wanted to they never advised us of certain things never talked about all the stuff that go behind it but they just show us and I'm really the more and more I think about my grandpa really powerful by example really it was just something that I thought was just simple and plain, but it had really had a powerful impact on me. And Leila was Agma, really instilled that. Even though he drank too, he used to drink. The time that Leila kind of yashit at him, but everybody drank, everybody experimented, everybody fell sometimes, and now we can't hold them as people. We shouldn't hold them together. One of these times, you have we have grudge against a guy or have something that مقا كاو بتاع إذا نيونا وقنا وقت بتوقت إذا إنكتاني إيجانيك ميزاس لما بوغلك مكان لك ميزا وهبت وزي ألا ميزا وكيل لما go home with this time عاش كوها يوكو قنا توك تاكو واستا يتيو أواتشامي وأوك أي تلاها كلها every day I pursue something good all the time. There, even though I made graduation songs and stuff, my daughters did not live a good life. And they dropped out of school. One's going to be 33 years old, the other one's going to be 31. the other one's gonna be 24, just not turned 24. They try to turn their life around and try to go to school. So I'm taking these back. Every time I go someplace, I take things back like this. It sits at the house, it's still there. I'm gonna take these back. When I'm gone, they can't say, well, my dad didn't try to help us. Well, father, I'm here. And maybe they can get a hold of you guys and say, I want to move away from here. Maybe it's different over there. Maybe, I don't know, geographical. Escape a lot of times not the answers, but then they come here, they might have outreach people that will say, hey, we can help you with your first month's rent. We can help you with tuition. We can help you with Pell Grants. We can help you with financial. Hey, get them on their feet now. The head. There's a song that I told, our parents, their father, that's all without a father. Somehow we're still here and we're somewhat educated. We all have something good to bring to this table. You're recording us. Hopefully that I'm very sure in my heart, 100%, that the things that we talk about and the things that we share, la kolia pichata, tokiski tata elo wongla kabna. Anagop the okumna, anahan kanka, okapha gana, kahashi, okapha, ha, elumshi. This ukin la ha, elumshi. Cha ukia chaha. Ichechti, tokiski, yeah, la kolia bina. Ichechti, wongla kab. Ichechti la kolia wongla kab. We talk in the likeness of our teachers. Like I was sharing earlier about having that head start. How many we were in there, Mahaza, Okum, when Mama, we were fed by our tube, my brother, or Lola. Nakpokia, Taku, Nauhu, Khosle Taku, Mahaza, Hamini Mahaza, Mauna, Taku, that Kakali, Namhata, at the baby jump, Nahingan, Skahingan. So see, we're already hearing things exposed to that sound. What's going on outside? What's really bad is that you hear all that dysfunction. Arguing, drinking, partying. Yeah, I know, keep Hopkins, and I had to really not a healthy thing to bring up children in a dysfunctional family where you hear violence, you hear people, even hear mom get beat up. Oh, I went how much stress and now keep Hopkins. That's left. Mom and dad, the light of that song goes, Mom and Dad, behold, look, wana wauspakiha, wakuanaha, itel migalushtaya. The West Secheku Hielaha, wana ikikchuya, me they received that from we pursue our education. And we get that diploma, and we can throw the tassel aside. Walk up for that on that. Once, but Wakuna, you tell one of me, Lusta. But they chat below here. Wakaka, they asked me to hold that song, so it goes. Ela ate wa maya kapo. Speke owa kowena, echel me glostayelo, hey, do we say check, hey yeah na wana eke chu ya ya lo ai ila ate wa ma ya ka pa wa ospeke o wa kowena hey tell me close ya lo hey cứ về sẽ chết ở hey na na eke chu ya ya lo hey the tune behind for that. And the boys back home that taught them that song, you know. It's a light of parents wake us up. Oh, chief, oh, kita ka banana. They know about that. After you get out of bed, move college out the stove. Yasni, I ate that osni. After the water in the pails, you freeze. Chalk on top. Who's gonna go start the fire? The blame keeps up. Had to tough it out, go start the fire, college. Right? Somebody still after everybody started to get dressed, lamps in the lake up and the Texas coming to her. Organized now, wait, Dagny Utah, Wayao, what is that eating? One speak, or go cool, pursue education. And then one day, find that diploma. I always take it back to my daughters. Wana lila wani ita ota opta ya hubna atas kya inap kamna kya ni ya once let to tell waya ya po taku speak jamna ta kta washi chu koki prishni ya get educated and go work like you're not afraid of work. Oh, I texted like igluha, you know. He said building that communities that have education, educated people. And that's why that song is made like maybe it doesn't fit certain, it's a lot of them. No, we even put in some of those words in there. Someone got raised by grandma and grandpa, pursued education and got a diploma. Oh, he put that in there for them too. So, who got that? Stamina from society because they explained the song to them. And then you think about the mother and the father waking them up in the mornings to send them off to school, have to wash their clothes on weekend, get them ready for the next week. I had to that once, but co-op doing the education or had you stunk, look at the stunk. They want to live a good life. I made a song for my grandma here, or my granddaughter. Those words were in it. But she la wa spec yo na itala heyapicha the image grandmother grandfather's patience is the only way and taking courage and be strong. And you dan ya ukta dan ya u ya chi was the Washington Christian ma kha yuski dan kam ya ukta chi khatake la hana ta na tata lera ota khatake ka bi works a little it works a little cool. We live in a place where a lot of young people are passing on because of taku yatkamisha, taku kajuta yajita misha, taichi pamisha, uhopa bisha, umpa bena, many wakana, many shikana, many wakamani sha taku, like eight of her, no kit hapsiskas, Yeah, so yeah, bad. I know when so much alcohol. I'm an alcoholic. I go to school. I go to AA. Stay focused like that. And I share my experience. And then I hope, hopefully, I can help someone else that is struggling because I'm sober now. I just can't sit with my sobriety. I got a job. Isamyaka, Waoki, Waoki. It's in my heart that I want to reach out. I know the suffering. I know the first step in the AA book says, admitted that we're part of alcohol, that our lives had become unmanageable. Oh, that really tells you something. It wasn't manageable. Yeah, tokechi kumamakua. I let the alcohol treat me the way I let it. Well, much akish. Waatka bichata nila. Damutka. Ashwana la patike. Bless my okay. Atchika hata ku was there. La wahina. Okay, our chummy. Hatigala. As I have ik was the one watching. Fish of like one watching. Matua kiswa. Is a wakasa kiswa so much. And I just live like that in a humble way. Kitawichashi went. That's I had agony. Humble. Daku was they terrible haga eat la coliwa. Which is what cut the whole can organize Yemakin was Agman, Daku chicken yet to car. Yet we're gonna have car and that is the car. I just give it our, I believe that was a great fear. That's just my voice when I pray, and I don't, certainly don't want to be in the limelight, spotlight, want no recognition. I just want to do my part as a common man, and my time is. Last night I got a call from my friend, a Vietnam veteran, passed away. He was my really close friend of mine. A lot of my friends really, they joined. They were in the service. They fought for us so we can live in peace, sleep in peace, and go to school. They made them supreme sacrifices. And Yonki Chan, I honored them. I hold them up high. So Kikita na nila ota tako. El wake up na. Na gulo hakali. Ugana shana o iwo gulo kapshin asta. Aja kike pila oini pila chawe. I have thanked them all the time. Naha tuhan olo aji awachi ma. Okay, oaki. Choya na I gotta sing the appropriate song, appropriate words, but then the occasion is to the best of our ability. But I want to share that because I was looking at that wall and said, oh, all this material, and then what is it? Make these for them. They want to reach out. They want everybody to be educated. They want to offer them and they're free. I asked the lady, yeah, they're free. So I'm going to take these home. I'm all for education, like I shared about my Lakota and comes from Sitting Bull says, let us put our minds together to see what we can teach our children. Oh, I have a name that comes from him. And that's what he stood for most of that, or the last years of his life. Education, really important. That's what I stand for. Now, what I speak about, what was used to the fullest. I want to interpret the best I can about the words I use. Sometimes you kind of weed out the things that kind of what interpretation of certain words. I'll be glad to help.
Understood.
I come from a grandmother who survived the Wounded Knee Massacre. It's going on that, right? But there's times that you get close to Wounded Knee. I remember my mom, and she used to tell the story. Mute or talk. She only shares the expressions through tears, smiling. Yeah, we can talk, actually. Yeah. Wounded her twice, the wrist and the hip. She survived. She saved a little boy, even though she was suffering from never know what wound feels like. But imagine what she had to go through. And then whenever all the gunfire stopped, she risked her life again with one arm, one leg. She crawled out of that. Talk about Waller. Oh. He saw something move. They killed it, went over there, killed it. Babies, old people, men, women, and children. Unarmed. But grandma crawled out of that creek, one arm, one leg, scooted herself over to that dead lady laying there. There's a baby crying inside the blanket. Pull that blanket out of the baby out of that blanket, pulled it into the creek, pulled him into the creek. One arm, one leg, one arm, one hand. Wow, he gonna he would put snow in her mouth and then dip that snow into the baby's mouth. That's how she fed that baby. They call those women resilient, are strong. So I talk about them. Out of 6 of them, 5 died and she survived. Her dad was Obu, mom, Swift Cloud, and her Moses Obu's parents. Mom and dad don't know the names, and then she lost a little brother. A lot of those Lakota, they were small like that. They had names, but what they really didn't want is they didn't want the Washichu to know them kids' names because they knew how to Washichu. So, but when grandma came back, Ogalake told about how it happened. Why you tchatcha Ogana finally? You tchatcha Ogalake. I shared this song with grandma. Annie Hakiktawi. In English, way they knew her as Annie Iron Hakiktawi, Obu. The song talks about how her mother used to tell us a story about what happened. And it goes on. Takpe ope wakpala mahelach wakpayeka kohamete takayepe Shekawecha kasotape Hakiktawe Vayut Khatcha Oglakela Estamriwe Stories composed by how her mom used to share that story about grandma, how the lady hidden in that crypt while she was hiding in that crypt. covered up with tumbleweed. They was wounded twice. All the while they're wiping out her relatives. And anyhow kicked on me. Why you cut me? Through sign language, she told this thing. Dominating. Tears came down. That song I proposed to my grandma. But I just don't. But I always wish my mom was here to hear them. I'm sure she is. She really loves to sing. And I know that she's probably up in heaven with singing with the angels. My mom and my grandma, her mother and my Lala, her old brother, Ernest Iron, back in the 40s. They had a Christmas caroling contest in KFIR in Bismarck. And it took first place. So they were very instrumental. Lala played the banjo and the violin. Ernest played the quartet. My mom and my grandma had a vocal, tenor, alto, Lala and vocalists come in the bass. That's how we're supposed to be singing in that Washichu way. But anyway, I just want to share that much about song. Organize. Help. Okay, that's a ton of place now. Laku na goa kalana op to kachni up na how you be able to interpret some of the words because I stand for bridging the gap. Go means the word la kodia kina the word okis the word la kodia na level spare or Naji Wahina will meet in the middle, bridge that gap. No stretchy ticket. I had to help that bridging that gap. I just want to share that much. I have a lot to share, but I always have respect for the gentlemen. Aku, I got upset. Yeah. Yeah.
Keep going.
Yeah.
I heard a speaker say, Okshina tankad abdekte, like a slang for go.
Yeah, you take it. You have the flashlight, isn't it?
Yeah. I hope that.
Well, that was beautiful. That was like really sharing a lot of personal things, and that's really appreciate you feeling comfortable enough to share that part of your life. 'Cause that's like amazingly beautiful story about your Kushi and mother and the songs that go with it and your oratory and the way you explain it. I think is beautiful. I think a lot of people get a lot out of that. Really, I think that with the song, it really drives home how our people were, like, and they are, and that's important part of our culture, through the song. So it's hard to come by our oka, or I don't know what the words would be, but yeah, when you can compose like that, some people just have that gift, you're one of them, I can tell. Maybe if you could share a little bit more about like what we talked about there earlier, because I didn't get that recorded, be that sinte, awoite, they'd kind of take some of that when they would go off to hunt, get their minds right. So if you could share again, if you would, about hunting etiquette from a Lakota ekta.
That's Vichashaki Wakulyamna Wiginivna Vatiki Tiwai Hockey Waichak Uknanda. And is they conduct themselves in a way where kids have to sit still. And walk while they have to humble themselves now. The grandmas or the grandpas or the mother would tell them, advise them. Not very many had vehicles then, and then it was Model T or Shwanka combination, team wagon. Igloyap. Na Lakota ahani. In this generation, ahani henna they took their time. They didn't rush to go provide food, to go get the tractor. They would check yapi. They would sometimes they go along the creek or the valleys. I mean, ask for somebody ask you to use you. Mazawa kanki. Wakinta. Wipe it all down. Maza sugi napkigeta. Vejuchuta ki bautism na disutapi. They tie it with the string, attach it under, and they pull it through one strand. They clean the barrel. Onahan haniglushtamata. That same sepretati we put right here. Onahan iglushtamata, hana bakintab na. Mazo kahe. Yonya kuapi, treated like a baby. Onahan, the mazo sug, the bullets in the bakintab. Just a few. Si chompik, the pocket of Toganakapi. Yeah. No, before they go, Beirut, in case any kind of run across different kind of ways of whatever kind of deer it could be. It could be a Sintesapala, whitetail, mule deer. Out of that bunch, them three, was you. Sintesapala kiepi. They can shapeshift. And it makes a person think, a hunter think, because it catches them off guard, whether they appear all of a sudden or sometime it might not be that, and they'll get their food, their deer, right away, or sometimes if it's that. Most likely in them days, a hunter would be really proud if they run across great big bucks with different kind of Washichuki stag, nachachan. They grow different ways and they're big. And they're like grandpas. And that's a Wajiataya hunter. You should automatically know what it can do, how it can change, how he can shapeshift into a man or a woman. The ones that do it in the right way. So when it's done the right way, the tiwaya and the children and whoever eats the meat, it provides good medicine for them to keep them healthy. That wild game was always prevent them from being sick or getting diabetes or cancer or kidney disease or any kind of like arthritis or any of those in those ways. But they don't think like that. But if it does occur, that's why they use that prejuta in your mouth to protect you. Sometimes the unlucky ones, the unlucky hunters will run across mishaps in which just like how you change your mind immediately when somebody gets you mad or any kind of different situation. You're going to change, you alter. Gun. was a conky. Woto means you can shoot it, but it hits. It makes a popping sound. And the deer would stand there and kakonka. You bow his head down. And then you should know then it's one of them kind. But my uncle kept hunting. He said he took him over this hill and the next hill and over another hill, and he would hide good. Many times he passed that deer. He'd be back up and retrack his tracks, and there was an old stump there. Out in the open, there was an old stump, and he said that there's no way there could be any trees out there. But the stump out there and the branches sticking out. And he saw it like that. And he walked by again, he said about 2-3 times. And finally, he said when he was going down the hill, it dawned on him that he said he thought he saw an eye on the ground looking up at him. So by the time he caught on, he went back over to the other hill and looked down. When he was approaching that stump, deer got up. That deer already knew him, that he seen him. And that whole stump he saw, I said, it got up, deer. Stood up, and he stood up like a man. My uncle told me this. And he told him, he said, he asked him to do some stuff. If you kill my people, he said, I want you to do this for me, he said. But my uncle said, no, I don't understand those ways. So he went back, said he got scared. He went home. And he told his wife. And he said it bothered him for several days. So somebody came and prayed for him and smudged him off. So he went out again. Oh, yeah, yo. But this time, he said, on the way, going, he said he tried to get sick. He trying to glepa, throw up. So he said he aborted his hunting. He was going home. And he said on the way, that man that he saw out there, that deer that changed into a man, he said he was coming. He said he didn't know what to do. And he saw that deer going to a ravine. So he said he just kept going. He came out to another ravine. And he seen all these deer laying there, mule deer, whitetail. He didn't want to shoot none of them. But he looked back and here, he looked back and here, those were all his offspring from that blacktail. And he's lucky he didn't shoot him. Because that night he said he washed himself off with sage water. And he had a dream. That man, that deer that turned to man, told him those were all his children. He's lucky he didn't shoot him, because if he did, his kids would have died. I had to stories. And people weren't as bad as this generation today. And there were still pure things. Things were apt to happen like that, depending how you live your life, depending how you conduct yourself, and depending how you was like in a community, and how you uphold yourself, whether you're a spiritual man or a common man or whatever your trade is or your duties are. Honey, this happened in Standing Rock. And Marco, he told me many other stories, similar things, every time he went hunting. So he quit. When he quit, he turned to be an alcoholic. that thing bothered him so much that he just turned to drinking. And he died from drinking. So from that, we don't know if he made it to the happy hunting grounds for what had happened to him on earth when he was alive, what he endured and encountered. Patrick Honey had relatives that was trying to go hunting and provide and feed his family, but those things happened. He got sick and he turned to drinking and he died. So honey. One deer like that blacktail had made a different impact in his life. He kind of lost his ways and will in his mind. He turned to alcohol and he ended up dead like that. And he told all that before that happened. And he never did. He never did hunt. So I don't know how his family survived or whatever. But he came close to things like kill deer to the offspring of those deer laying there. He said he walked past them. And when he looked back, he said, those are all kids sitting in the weeds. He said he saw those things. And that night he was sick, couldn't sleep. I was still a child then, that time when those things happened. And I understood Lakota and know what he was talking. So I listened to that. And I heard it from him. And I had another uncle. Oh, he's my grandpa. He had a gift also. He wanted to go. The people come to see him because he was a holy man. And he's one of those that don't go in public. He stays home, stays out in the country. He never goes into town. He just stays there. And it made me wonder and think how he survived and ate because them days he ride on horse and team horses. There used to be no bridges them days. There used to be ladders on each side, on Nikota, at both sides. So the people worked there and they had makeshift sheds there. And they used to, when they went shopping, the people carry groceries down and back up to the other side. And then they get into the other side and then they would go home. That was like that several places. And I guess people would bring him food. But he had a gift of where people come to him, ask for help. He would go on the hill with a mirror. And he would communicate with spirits. He wouldn't say nothing for a long time, but when he was getting to his end of his life and he was sick, he told who he was communicating. The snakes and the deer were together. And they had so much power that they knew everybody in the community where they lived and who lived out in the country. And he helped that man. That man, he had a gift where he looked for these ranchers would come. There'll be cattle missing when it was time of their birth, calving. And he kept losing. He wouldn't find the dead cows or what happened to the calves. And all that time, somebody was stealing them nighttime. So this farmer went to him and asked him, can you find my cattle? I'm losing my cattle and I don't know where they're going. I need to brand them and tag them. So he went on the hill and he asked for the help of the deer and the snake. And they would find these cattle. They'd be long ways away, distances. They'll have different brands, even stealing horses. So these non-Indians would help him when they find these animals. These farm ranchers would provide meat for him. At times he'd give him 2-3 cows to have him survive. But that's how some people, there was good medicine people in them days. They never abused their power. But that's how some of them survived in those days that I've known. And again, this story comes from Standing Rock, 10 miles west of Little Eagle, Wablichikala. They used to live out there. And I won't mention his name or anything, but he lived quite a while. And I remember a lot of other old people lived like that. Some even still never had modern clothes, up-to-date clothes. He was dressing all in kaha, rawhide, all the way to his moccasins. And even his horse, his saddle was all wood, old time. He had gunny sacks hanging down for his water and his groceries. That's how he lived about a good 8 miles out of Liligo. But he would come every day, and I was still a child them days, and I was in the grade school in Little Eagle. And we'd see him, we'd be impressed because he had feathers in his hair and braids, and he dressed like he was ready to go in a battle. But he lived like that. He was the only one that lived like that. He had a lot of medicines. He knew where the roots were. He knew where all the things were and how to heal people. And he wouldn't do it, but he'd tell them where to go and get the medicines and where it was at. And the people will come and get it and do it and process it and help heal the community. And the cows that he'd give it to the community to feed the people and his family. Stories go so well. So there's always good people who provide it like that in a good way. And nowadays, today, people change that. As they got modern, they changed it and they abused the medicine. So there's some that we have that don't live that way. They're torn apart from trying to live Washicha way and dress that way, and they, to me, it looks like they dishonor their family when they do things like that. They forget about the gift that they had. So there was people like that when I was growing up that I knew, that I have seen and know that what they did and how they used to have community meetings, and they used to get up and they would tell stories and warn the people in which direction or where this occurred or by somebody's residence nearby or things like that. So that was all things like that happened then, them days. But food-wise and about the deer and things, and I had they take them and they take care of their own, just like how we take care of our children and our grandchildren. So I imagine how we conduct our lives in this world and even in the past and this in the pure days, the holy days, the positive ways. It was there. Every man was tested in some kind of way to see what you would do and how you would react and how you would, if anger sets in or if you're different ways of thinking. These animals test you, do things like that. But they were around because they too were in the remote areas. And they too, the people who had these gifts, who were spiritual leaders that endured and they experienced things like that. And I had the Wama Kashkan lived out there, and they protected their own so they won't get killed. And now that was the understanding I got out of that, because everything that lives on this earth, God created. And they had as a powerful spiritual well-being, because you got to realize these animals don't cuss. These animals don't commit sin. They don't destroy homes. They don't destroy lives. But yet God put them on earth so that we could provide for our ways. But like I said, maybe because of the way we do things and how we try to live modern, how our minds and attitude change. There's a reason why those things do that and react to that. So I'll like to share that much because them days, I suppose if you don't live that way accordingly in how you conduct yourself when you're trying to provide your family with and talk things, things like that will come, and it's an example of the community how they should share these and tell these. So whenever the instructor here puts them out, there's others who hear this, and maybe you have stories of your tribe and other stories like this you can share. But Iatek vitroigen ela gijo kitam chacha hena hechak chi re so we trempena le han wana le na iatek le hechak hechak chi waki prabhena ijana makashina inajishen hena oglaka pi hechak le tiwana le community ke le na soljakte na iwahu chapina ela na dokter shetuk togana ni umpina ta umpina ta wiuk chamna ta wakwala umpina ta iglu about wana hetchu gana it'll be easy for them to go and provide food, or if not they will struggle and run across things like this cha hetchu na mija omake kam chacha so na ochna so we chawa ya na akti wa makajana grade school wash cha na so we chana we charge le ata ahani igluze ananaku head teacher Saluyapina. It was always good to see him because we had those kind of ways. This couple people I lived like that, and I shared before all of that. It was all gone, and today we wear white man clothes. We asked questions about we're providing food. Well, those stories came along with that, and how a deer does things, and how he can change himself into a woman and a man. There's more stories I know, but I shared that much. Remember these now. Think about it, something to think about, because one other was you want to live white man wage, and you already tasted the food. It costs a lot of money today. Them days it was free, but it was up to you how you conduct yourself and how you provide your family. I got no chicha. Ela mathogle echale. No chicha kamna. On be chik ala. Mathanka yutaka oya tegeta hava uchake ahna. Rahi chicha plata. Wopila chicha plata.
But I remember my uncle, I stayed with him, Percy Dupree. He went hunting. There he seen this mule deer then alongside the hill. But he said, the funny thing about it, when I looked at him, he said he had red eyes, which meant that it was one of them Sitesa fellows, black-tailed deer. That's it. Whether they got some kind of power, I know that. Well, he got scared of it. He said he never thought nothing of it and went home. That night, he had a dream that deer came to him. Told him, he said, you seen me first. That's why my eyes turned red. If you don't kill me tomorrow, he said, there'll be a lot. Bad luck will come to your family. That bothered him all night. And in the morning, he got up. He went out there and heard that deer was right at the same place. So he killed it, brought it back, but he opened his eyes and it weren't red anymore. He used to tell me about that, what you guys talked about, Sitesapala. So when we used to get ready to go hunt, we used to go to Sweat Lodge the night before. Ready to the Siteska, whitetail, Sitesapala. That we knew they were going to give themselves so that the people may live. And we'd go out there. I took my adopted father, my two sons, three sons. One was adopted. We'd go down to the river and shoot whitetail deer, bring them back 2 or 3 at a time. Altogether, we did that to 53 of them. Gutted them and cured them out, and then we passed them out. We give them a whole deer or quarter it up. We went to elders. There about 3 different communities. We help people out. Now, I went out with my brother one time. You only seen 6 of them. So I had a clip, 4-bullet clip. He was driving that. And deer on his side, so he rolled his window down, so I stuck that rifle out. I shot 4 of them. Then he said, "There's a couple more left." Well, I was loading up as he over the hill. Here, them 2 were down there standing sideways, so I nailed both of them. I shot 6 of them that day. He couldn't believe it. So we gutted him. He was kind of mad. You shot him, you should gut him. But that's what they make us do when we first shoot our first kill. Is eat a piece of liver from the deer. Have them become part of us. So there's a lot of other hunting trips that I'd go out. Before 10 o'clock, we'd have a deer before they bedded down. And once you figure out their patterns, and then they'll come out at 3. So you can shoot one, go back, butcher it, hang it up, take a little break, and then about 3 o'clock, go out there and you'll get another one. So there's a lot of hunting stories that since I've been hunting. I can go out. I only take 1 bullet. I don't need to get greedy. But this last time, I had a hell of a time loading a buck. I thought 1 buck in a creek, and then I can't get around much, so tied a rope on it, pulled it out with a truck. Then I had to go in a little ditch like that, pull that back end down so the tailgate hit the ground. Then I drug him on there. Jeez. After that, I had to take a couple of guys, young guys. The woman would go hunting. We got till the end of December to hunt. So got about 5 requests for deer. So that's what I'll probably be doing. But all kinds of stories to deer, and especially that one of the black Sitesapala, mule deer. I see them walk on their back legs like a man went up a hill. I didn't shoot. My dad shot at one. You see the fur pop out where it shot him. The deer looked around like that. He didn't see us. The man shot again here. That fur just blew all over. Went to see where it was at. There was no deer there. So he went back into the spirit world or something, wherever they get their power from them. There's a lot, but we always offer. Prepare for smudge, for the Sweat Lodge, offer tobacco. Once we kill one, they call it lifeline from the mouth all the way to the rear end. We sprinkle tobacco that way. And they would give them a fast drink of water. Before they used to carry water in their mouth, shot one, and they'd give that water to the deer. That was a long time ago in them days, so they had to be tough guys. And so that's about all I have to say. Hunting and stuff, going up. This year, I just guided some white guys out there, got their deer tags filled out. So I know the reservation at the back of my hand. I know just about where everybody lives and know which ones to stay away from. They'll let you on their land. Well, it's tough. We all have it tough. But one thing I noticed that we don't complain about it. Right? You shake it up, go to the next one. That's my little story about deer. Wherever I take it to, the women all know how to do that. Make papas, back straps, make the steaks. I don't have it rough. I have it pretty good. Treat people the way you want to be treated. With respect. Help each other out. Strength in numbers is what I always tell my kids. What does that mean? That means we get together. We don't go against each other. Now I'm raising my grandkids. 2 of them, that's the ones I gave. That trailer house is 20 years old. Double wide. The housing authority, because of the women in charge of there that don't like me, they're my ex-in-laws, put in 4 applications and I still live in that trailer house. And I said, I've been fixing it up. So I just gave it to them 2 grandkids. Even after I'm gone, I said, you guys will have a place. Roof over your head, and at least you call it home. I said, I'm trying to get a new house out there, so I'd be my own. But they won't budge, housing authority. These guys think they have it rough on this reservation. It's like that at all reservations. No matter where you go, you heard to people that they say they're going to do this, that. I said, that's politics. They don't. Oh, only to help themselves. I ain't going on.
Takipi taku oas iwoya hadakapi ki he washte cha yomakipi. Penakcha he.
It's yeah. Stuff. It's still there. We do it every day. It's kind of like a job. Give us gas money and everything. Deer back. There's a lot of deer out there. I just got to go to where I have my garden, my pasture. Yeah, they're we kind of have trouble with a state license. When the state comes in, they get to use them ATVs and everything. We can't use them. But it's just hunt out there. And you can't shoot from the road or from the pickup. Really, get out of the road, on the pickup, and then shoot that way. That's it.
So I think we could finish up for today, unless there's any closing remarks. I know, we could still want to do a Chanupa ceremony later on. That would be good. Whatever you want to do. But as far as recording, I can shut it off now. Is there anything else you want to share for now, or are you good?
I have one more. Before. A couple of years ago, I did a recording with Ray Chicken, who works at McLaughlin, Mustang High School. Shared a story about a hunting story. My Lala John Iron said to me, I might send you, I'll try to figure out how to send a book to you, but it's a short story. And the heading of it is called Wokila, hunting, looking for food or whatever you're searching for. Wokila, that's what it means. You look for food or look for things that for better health.
Wokile.
Look, I'll get you hooked up with that. Maybe I'm able to mail it to you. However, it's on they published it, bunch of copies. I have a bunch of them at home. It's in the pass it out. They don't sell their material there.
Okay.
It's out there. I don't know who all. I don't know if no one hasn't gotten back to me, but the one that they just said told by John Iron, shared by Bryan Swift Cloud. So whatever I hear, I share.
Okay.
I'm taking that. I'll get that hooked up with that.
Wow, هو اشتقت له.
It's not good.
Anka,
Aha.
That's Buffalo Roll. Here, if you guys want to use it, just let me know.
Buffalo, Venuetian.
Yeah, tochash.
Your cow keeps you can't get down on the floor.
Oh, okay. Hard to get back up.
Forklift, Yoki. Forklift, what the Yoki do?
Tractor, you ask him. It's a pipe ceremony.
Oh.
Tractor, you ask him.
Did you?
And there's different ways of saying buffalo dance. How I say it, Hatang Awachikia, buffalo dance. Honey, la cucina, la pequeña, was really powerful in the face. They want something like that. Extra, but wachibish, Awachika, the dancing, the sing. So the buffalo over here, the stomping, the dancing. Curiosity will take a moment. So he talked to him, called the book. That's how they do it as a book. It's okay, no? About how we don't live the way that a book used to, so we just do a book way of taking the book. Well, sing it. Oh, okay, na pero ho. Okay, pero